It is possible that doing this 30 minutes after eating will determine how long you live. In order to safeguard the health of senior citizens, did you know that the actions you take within the first 30 minutes after eating could play a covert role in determining how long you live? As we get older, it becomes much simpler to concentrate on the food that we consume. Fewer calories, more fiber, and smaller serving sizes. However, what is not discussed nearly enough is the timing of our actions and the ways in which our behaviors after meals influence our longevity in the same way that our dietary choices do. You mean that half an hour after you eat? It is a very important window. And if you are making some of these 5 typical mistakes while without even recognizing it, you may be putting unnecessary stress on your digestive system, your heart, and your overall health without even being aware of it. In this video, we are going to discuss 5 activities that you should steer clear of doing 30 minutes after you have finished eating. These are not severe regulations or medical gimmicks, rather, they are things that you should do if you wish to age with vigor, clarity, and energy. These are straightforward alterations that assist your body in accomplishing what it is currently attempting to do: repair, balance, and absorb the damage. Every one of these seemingly insignificant adjustments has the potential to safeguard your organs, enhance your metabolism, and even lessen the likelihood of developing a chronic illness over the course of time. Because knowing what not to do after meals might be the most powerful piece of advice for extending your life that you have never heard before. Make sure you stay listened until the very end. In addition, even a single adjustment made now could add years to your life. Lie down immediately after eating. Which is the first step? It is extremely usual for people to lie down too soon after eating, which is one of the most common mistakes people do, especially in their latter years of life. It doesn't appear to be harmful. When all is said and done, what could possibly seem more natural than taking a short break after a heavy meal like lunch or dinner? However, if you lie down or recline during the first 30 minutes after eating, you are not assisting your body in relaxing during this time. You are essentially making its job a great deal more difficult. As you can see, digestion is a process that is based on gravity. After passing through the esophagus and entering the stomach, the food begins its journey through the intestines, which is the next stage of the digestive process. However, the downward movement is disrupted when you lie down too soon, particularly when you are in a horizontal position. It is possible for the muscles that are responsible for moving food through your body, notably the lower esophageal sphincter, to become less strong as you become older. Additionally, when you are lying down, it is simpler for acid from your stomach to move backward into your esophagus during digestion. In this manner, acid reflux is initiated, and if you have ever experienced that burning sensation in your chest or throat after a nap or a snack before bed, you are already aware of how painful it can be and how potentially dangerous it may be. Chronic acid reflux can cause more than just discomfort over the course of longer periods of time. In addition to contributing to inflammation and increasing the likelihood that you may experience esophageal issues in the future, it causes the lining of your esophagus to tear away over time. However, that is not the end of it. Because of the impairment in digestion, your body has to exert more effort in order to absorb nutrients. In addition, if nutrients are not absorbed in the correct manner, your energy levels, your immune system, and even the health of your brain may begin to decline. My conversation with Frank, a retired truck driver who was in his early 70s and used to spend every afternoon after lunch reclining in his recliner, is one that I will never forget. He reported that it supported his back and provided him with a brief respite. However, he continued to experience difficulties with his throat and felt exhausted even after taking a break. The shift occurred almost immediately after he began to maintain his upright position for a period of 30 minutes after each meal. There will be no more burning power that is superior. Because of this, his body was no longer struggling against itself. All of a sudden, it was receiving backing. Rest is not something you should be denying yourself. Although you are seated, you are still able to read, rest, or take pleasure in a discussion. Permit gravity to assist your stomach in doing its job. Also, if you do want to lie down later, you should wait at least half an hour, and ideally 60 minutes, before you move your body into a different posture. Remember to give it some time to get ahead of the process. This one tiny routine might not seem like much at first glance, but over the course of time, it can be the deciding factor in whether the healing process is silent, damaged, or stable. It's not just about the food you eat to support your digestive system. When you eat, it is important to consider how you will support your body. The more we get older, the more we need to respect those quiet systems that are still working hard to keep us healthy. These systems are still working hard to keep us healthy. Taking a brisk stroll or beginning exercise too soon is the second major mistake. The idea that walking immediately after eating is beneficial to digestion has been around for a very long time. There is a line that is easy to cross, especially if you are over the age of 60 and your body does not bounce back as it used to. Although it is true that gentle exercise can boost blood flow and lessen sluggishness, there is a barrier that is simple to pass. It is possible that participating in any form of physical exercise or going for a brisk walk too soon after eating could actually cause your digestion to become more difficult rather than easier. So, here's why. After you have finished eating, your body enters a condition that is known as the parasympathetic state, which is also referred to as the rest and digest state. Through this process, blood flow is redirected toward your stomach and intestines, where it provides the energy necessary for the digestion and absorption of nutrients. A power walk, stairs, or mild jogging are all examples of activities that need your body to redirect blood flow away from digestion and into your muscles. However, if you begin moving too quickly, especially with intensity, your body will be compelled to do this. To put it another way, your stomach and your legs begin to compete with one another for availability of resources. In addition, neither of them will benefit from this tug of war. Your digestive process becomes more sluggish, which may result in bloating, cramping, or a sense of heaviness. During this time, your muscles are not functioning as well as they once did. The fact that your fuel system is interrupted in the middle of the cycle makes this an even more critical consideration as you become older. Because your circulatory system becomes less flexible over time, your heart has to work harder to adapt to conflicting demands. Additionally, your insulin response, which is the way your body maintains blood sugar after eating, might become unpredictable. It is something that we do not give much thought to until it finally catches up with us. On the other hand, these decisions made after meals add up over time. There was a woman named Carol who was 68 years old and took great satisfaction in maintaining an active lifestyle. Whenever she finished her dinner, she would immediately go outside for a brisk walk, under the impression that this would assist her in maintaining her physical fitness. Instead of feeling less weary thereafter, she began to notice that she was feeling more exhausted. In addition to feeling a bit weird and a little dizzy, she was unable to comprehend the reason why her stomach was continually feeling tight. Everything changed after she made a change to her regimen, which consisted of waiting 30 to 45 minutes before walking. Her energy levels evened out, her digestion became more efficient, and she no longer experienced feelings of exhaustion. In spite of this, you are not required to remain still like a statue after each and every meal. In point of fact, a few light activities, such as washing the dishes, gently swaying while listening to music, or strolling slowly about the home, can be quite beneficial. However, the term that is most important here is gentle. It is important that your movements correspond to the internal state of your body. To improve your digestion, you should work with it rather than against it. When you are unsure about what to do, ask yourself how your body is feeling before you move. Is your stomach still full? Have you noticed that your heart is beating? Is there a calmness in your breath? It is possible that your body is trying to tell you to give it a little bit more time if you feel any tightness or strain in your shoulders. It is possible that if you give it that time, even if it is only 30 minutes, it will make a significant change in the way that your body stores energy. maintains blood sugar balance, and absorbs nutrients. Adding more movement is not the only way to increase longevity. It is important to incorporate the appropriate form of movement at the appropriate time. In order for your body to function properly after a meal, it requires room to do so. You are not slowing down when you allow yourself to honor that process. You are proceeding with a great deal of intelligence. I would appreciate it if you could use the second comment section below to let me know that you are continuing viewing this video and that you are finding these insights to be helpful. I strongly suggest that you subscribe to the channel and activate the bell if you have not already done so. This will ensure that you do not miss any videos. With your assistance, we are able to continue producing high-quality content that will both inform and inspire you. Let's proceed with our plans now. Drinking a significant amount of cold water is the third recommendation. Many of us have developed the habit of finishing a meal and then immediately going for a tall glass of ice water. This is a habit that many of us picked up early in life. It seems invigorating, particularly during the warmer months of the year. The majority of individuals, however, are unaware of this fact. When you consume a big quantity of cold water immediately after eating, it can subtly disturb digestion in ways that, over time, can have an effect on your energy levels, your immune system, and even the health of your heart. Your body goes through a sudden change in temperature when you drink cold water because of the sudden change in temperature. Because of the abrupt dip, the stomach, which is already exerting a lot of effort to break down food, is compelled to adjust for it. There is a constriction of the blood vessels in your digestive tract. The activity of enzymes decreases. A decrease in temperature causes the fats in your meals, particularly those that come from animals, to become more solid, making it more difficult to emulsify and absorb them. Because of this, your body will have to exert more effort and consume more time in order to absorb the nutrients it requires. It is possible that this may not appear to be a significant issue for a younger individual who has a powerful metabolism. On the other hand, the digestive tract gets more sensitive with age in older adults, beginning in their 60s and continuing well into their 70s and beyond. In terms of speed and efficiency, it does not process things as rapidly. Furthermore, when cold water disrupts this process, it results in a slower emptying of the stomach, an increase in bloating, and a loss of necessary nutrients. It is also possible that, over time, it will interfere with the ability of the stomach to regulate healthy bacteria, which is one of the fundamental components of immune strength as we become older. When I was younger, I remember Sam, a former steelworker who was 74 years old and used to always have a thermos of ice water on the table during each meal. In his mind, it was assisting him in maintaining his hydration. On the other hand, he frequently experienced feelings of fullness that lasted for several hours, occasionally experienced stomach cramps, and struggled with exhaustion in the afternoons. The moment he began drinking water at room temperature or warm temperatures with his meals, everything began to alter. His digestion became more efficient. His weight was reduced. His vigor came back to him. There was no sense of a sacrifice being made. There was a sense of relief. It is essential to have a clear understanding that water not in and of itself is the issue. Following a meal, it is essential to drink enough of water. In addition to facilitating the transit of food through your intestines, it also assists in the transportation of nutrients. Both the temperature and the timing are problematic. The consumption of cold water immediately following a meal causes friction in a system that requires flow. And consuming an excessive amount of food all at once, particularly when your stomach is already full, places more pressure on an organ that is already working hard. Now, what is the most effective strategy? Breathe slowly. Decide on liquids that are warm or at room temperature. After meals, herbal teas such as chamomile, ginger, or peppermint can be very beneficial as they include those herbs. As a result, they alleviate bloating and gas while also relaxing the digestive tract. A small amount of warm lemon water, even just a few sips, can do wonders for your body as it transitions into the post-meal processing phase. This kind of minor tweak could not garner much attention in the media. But over the course of several weeks and months, they develop an inner world that is more effective and more balanced. It is one that is more able to combat inflammation, absorb important vitamins, and maintain optimal functioning of both the heart and the brain. Keep in mind that the way we act toward our digestive system is a reflection of how we act toward the rest of our body. We are going to need to pay the price if we rush it, overload it, or reject its indications. On the other hand, if we take care of it, protect it, and provide it with the things it needs, it will reward us not just with improved digestion but also with improved life. The fourth recommendation is to take a shower or bath just after you finish eating. The act of taking a warm shower after a meal can be a source of comfort for a great number of individuals, particularly in their later years of life, a means of calming the body, easing the discomfort in the joints, or getting ready for the remainder of the day. However, what the majority of people do not realize is that taking a shower or bath too soon after eating might discreetly interfere with your body's capacity to digest and absorb the nutrients that are necessary for you to maintain your strength and health. What takes place inside of your body is as follows. Your digestive system takes over as the command center once you have finished eating. Blood is sent to your stomach, liver, pancreas, and intestines in order to provide assistance for the intricate process of breaking down food, absorbing nutrients, and processing glucose. When you walk into warm or hot water, however, your skin immediately begins to demand more blood flow than it normally would. The circulation in your body moves closer to the surface as it attempts to maintain a temperature that is more stable. In other words, your body will have less blood available to support digestion at precisely the moment when it requires it the most. This redistribution of blood may appear to be insignificant, but, for elderly people whose circulatory systems are no longer as flexible or efficient, it might have repercussions that are subtle but significant that are nonetheless significant. Symptoms include an abrupt reduction in energy, nausea, and poor digestion. The constant stress that is placed on your digestive organs can, over time, lead to a reduction in the amount of nutrients that are absorbed and can also put strain on your cardiovascular system. Despite the fact that many individuals never connect with it, the transformation that occurs once they do is remarkable. Once upon a time, I had a conversation with Helen, a former educator who was 76 years old and had the practice of taking a shower immediately after dinner. She believed that it improved her ability to sleep, but she was experiencing discomfort, indigestion, and occasional bloating when she woke up in the middle of the night. She noticed a significant change when her physician suggested that she wait 30 to 45 minutes after meals before taking a bath. Her sleep quality improved, her digestion became more efficient. She had a greater sense of ease within her body. However, this does not indicate that you should completely abstain from taking a bath after meals. When you do, it is the real question. By allowing your body to have that 30-minute window, your internal systems are able to concentrate on what is most important, which is the digesting of your food, before transferring resources to other areas. The fact of the matter is that even a brief delay can assist your body in maintaining its equilibrium and avoiding the digestive turmoil that is associated with multitasking systems. If you are someone who enjoys relaxing after meals, you should think about options that do not take blood away from your core. Relax and read something soothing while sitting quietly near a window. Listen to some soothing music. These techniques continue to bring about feelings of tranquility and comfort without interfering with the internal healing process that your body is undergoing. You are able to continue to incorporate a warm shower or bath into your routine. Let it be a reward, rather than a reflex. However, before washing your body, give it some time to digest what you just ate. One additional method that you show your appreciation for the systems that are care for you is by showing patience and respect in even the smallest of ways. I would appreciate it if you could use the fourth comment section below to let me know that you are continuing viewing this video and that you are finding these insights to be helpful. I strongly suggest that you subscribe to the channel and activate the bell if you have not already done so. This will ensure that you do not miss any videos. With your assistance, we are able to continue producing high-quality content that will both inform and inspire you. Let's proceed with our plans now. Fifth, immediately following a meal, engaged in activities that involve tension or problem solving. It is simple to forget about the mental processes that take place in our minds during the first 30 minutes following a meal. After you have finished eating, you are feeling full and possibly a little lethargic. Without giving it much thought, you pick up your phone, read an email that is alarming, begin analyzing your bills, or have a chat with a member of your family that is quite emotional. But something that appears to be a typical part of day-to-day living can, in reality, have significant effects on your body's capacity to rest, repair, and protect you as you get older. You have to understand that digestion is not merely a physical function. This is intricately connected to your nervous system. The parasympathetic state, also known as the rest and digest state, is the state that your body is supposed to be in while you eat. On the other hand, the moment you expose your body to stress, whether it be a concern about money, a disagreement with a family member, or simply a crossword puzzle that causes your heart to race, your body immediately switches into the fight or flight mode. Because of this stress condition, your body is flooded with the chemicals cortisol and adrenaline, and these hormones perform precisely the function for which they were designed. In order to preserve their energy for survival, they stop the digestive process. A slower metabolism, gas, bloating, and increases in blood sugar were the consequences of this. Furthermore, if this pattern of stress is repeated after each meal, the consequences will accumulate over time if it is repeated. The pancreas becomes overworked in an attempt to manage insulin. The stomach stops absorbing nutrients in an efficient manner, and your immune system becomes weakened as a result of being asked to process meals when you are experiencing emotional storms. One day, I had the pleasure of meeting a man named Thomas who was 80 years old and had established the practice of browsing through his mail while he was eating lunch. The medical notices and legal paperwork that Bill needed to complete became a regular part of his meal ritual. After each meal, he began to notice that he was feeling worse, rather than better. Despite the fact that he believed he was being efficient, he experienced a decrease in energy. His stomach was uneasy, and his physician was unable to identify a specific explanation. On the other hand, the change was like night and day once Thomas started eating without distractions and gave himself 30 minutes after meals before accessing his mail or making critical phone calls. He was not only digesting his meals more effectively, but he was also digesting life in a more tranquil manner with it. It is not just your mood that is affected by the emotional state you are in after eating. It also has an effect on your health. It is okay to find solutions to issues, engage in conversations, or respond to the demands of life. Nonetheless, time is important. Allocate a brief period of time, no more than half an hour, during which you are solely responsible for breathing, digesting, and being present. Your health cannot wait, but the rest of the world can. Softness is preferable to stimulation in this situation. Make the decision to be present rather than to solve problems. Instead than engaging in dispute, opt for silence. The space in question is beneficial not only to your digestive system, but also to your heart, your brain, and your mental well-being. And in the long term, that tranquility will become one of the most effective tools you have at your disposal for maintaining your sanity. The decisions that you make after eating do not have to be flawless, rather, they should be the result of careful consideration. Because what you do in those quiet moments, those small decisions that you make on a daily basis, can impact both the length of your life and the quality of your life. Lastly, some thoughts. As we get to the end of today's film, I would like to bring to your attention something that is inconspicuous but significant. The actions you do after each meal have an impact not only on how you feel in the present moment, but they also have an impact on the future of your health. What did you find to be the most noteworthy? The question is, which of these 5 routines have you been ignoring without being aware of the impact they have been having on your life? Not only do we all want to live longer, But we also want to live better. This is our ultimate goal. There is a desire for us to have calm in our routines, clarity in our brains, and power in our bodies. And the truth is that in order to get started on that trip, you do not require a specialized diet or expensive pills. The judgments that you make, such as whether or not to lie down too quickly, whether or not to rush into activities, and whether or not to overload your body with too much too quickly, can sometimes vary greatly. Because I've been doing things this way for years, it's not hard to say. The beauty of awareness, however, is that it enables you to experiment with something new, something more compassionate, and something more intelligent. You do not have to drastically alter everything in a single day. Choose one of your habits. Examine it after the next meal you eat. Allow your body the time, space, and relief it has been requesting all along. Give it what it needs. Also, if it is helpful, do on with it, considering that with each and every quiet choice you make to support your digestion, your circulation, and your hormones, you are also supporting your brain, your energy, your sleep, and your longevity. You are telling your body, I am still taking care of you. This one little act of self-respect adds up in ways that you may not always be able to see, but you will definitely feel the effects of it. A long life has been lived by you. Trends have come and gone, as you are aware. Real wisdom, on the other hand, is the ability to recognize what is actually effective and to have faith that simple rhythms, when performed on a regular basis, can provide you with longer years, more vitality, and more peace. We appreciate you being here with us today. It would be wonderful if you could get in touch with us. Please leave a comment below and tell us about one item you discovered today and how you intend to put it to use in your life right now. We place a high value on your opinions, so please do not be reluctant to share them with us. Our inspiration and encouragement are greatly increased as a result of reading your remarks. I would appreciate it if you would like, subscribe, and share this video if you found it to be informative and enjoyable. With your assistance, we are able to continue producing high-quality content that will both inform and inspire you. We appreciate you taking the time to watch, and we hope to see you in the future video.